Testing, hot outbound car, 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to hear?
Are you ready?
Make the approach. Plant your feet firmly in the ground. Head down. Eyes on the ball. Relax. That's it. Get your left arm straight. Your right arm straight. Relax. Lower your right shoulder. Go!
The Honeymooners Podcast, the only podcast that is all about the greatest show of all time. With the stars, Joe Conti and Louis Fatts.
Welcome, fellow raccoons and members of the Women's Auxiliary. What's happening, all you Hurricanes, Bensonhurst Bombers, and all you nervous guys at the door of the world? You're listening to the Honeymooners Podcast with me, Joe Conti, and my pal Louis Fatts.
Don't worry. You can still go to the coast tomorrow. Ziggy's on his way over here with $50,000 I had stats in the apartment. It's made on the old paper. He won't have no trouble pushing it. That must be Ziggy. Get the door. Ooh, that was long.
That was good.
Pretty good.
It threw me. I didn't know you were going to do that. Yeah. The only podcast all about the greatest show of all time. We record at the Non-Productive Studios at 328 Chauncey Street in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, a.k.a. disguised as Clifton, New Jersey. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating and leave a positive review because we'll read it on the show.
Oh, yeah.
The home base is non-productive.com/honeymooners. You can get all the shows on that page. Like our Honeymooners Podcast Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and that's at Honeymooner1. Sorry, I lost the mouse hair. Yeah. And support us through Patreon because we can use it. You know, a little little help with Patreon.
Sure can.
You know what I mean?
You know these people out there.
Yeah, you know, it's like it just
this helps every little bit.
Suppose I can put you down for the usual buck.
You know, we can we can take that for sure.
Take the
buck. We'll take the buck. And just go to the the non-productive site and click on any episode, and then you'll be able to get the Patreon. If you want to leave a voicemail right for the show, you can leave it just for us, or if you want it to be on the show, call 240-442-2635. And leave the voicemail, and we'll play it on the air if it's not too long and convoluted and doesn't sound terrible. Yeah. And don't forget to email us at
bangzoom1956 at Gmail.
What's going on, Lou?
Joe, number 86. Got a good 86.
Okay, what do we got?
We don't have any ridiculous, idiotic football player. We have the only 86 I know. Maxwell Smart. Agent 86.
You know, that's good. But you know what I thought you were going to say?
Ooh.
The 86 Mets.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's what you know, if Howie's listening to this, he's going to be a little disappointed, all right?
I'm sure Howie's a big fan of Maxwell Smart. How could you not be?
Get Smart. The cone of silence.
That would... I got to actually have that written down here. Cone of silence. You see it right there? Cone of silence. It's just one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It's just so great.
And the history,
I love it.
even the portable cone of silence. Remember the portable cone?
I don't remember the portable one.
It was a small one they used to carry with them, and it was like, oh God, it's just the most ridiculous thing.
Oh God,
but
Mel Brooks and Buck Henry. Oh, it's just fantastic.
Yep. And then Don Adams, the perfect Maxwell Smart.
He was so good.
Oh my God, was he perfect?
Yeah, and what's her face?
Barbara Feldon.
She was awesome as 99.
You know, I reading something about it this as I was preparing this. I do prepare sometimes. She didn't have a name in that show.
They never called her anything
Never
but
called
99.
her anything else. One time she said her name was something Hilton.
They did. She did say something.
But it was just a fake name. She was giving them a fake name.
Was
the spy. You know,
right,
giving them a fake name. And then serial number. And they also said that one towards the end, I believe, when they were married, and Max calls her Ernestine. And then she said, like, that's not my name. So she goes through the whole show as being 99.
Yeah. And I love Chief.
I forgot. Edward Platt.
Edward Platt, yeah. I heard he had a terrible, I think he had awful back issues.
Oh, okay.
I think he ended up, I'm not going to say, he committed suicide.
Oh, did he? Wow.
Yeah. Way to bring the show down, Joe.
Yeah, really, way to go, Joe. Now, back to the cone of silence. We don't need when we have silence here. Oh, you cannot forget Jaime the Robot.
Yeah.
Dick Gautier. Oh, my God. Nothing funnier.
Victor French was in that.
Oh, so many people.
So many people were in that. Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta start watching. Siegfried, Bernie Coppell.
Bernie
Oh,
Coppell.
my
Doc.
God.
I remember him more as Doc
yeah.
from Love Boat, right?
I remember him as Siegfried.
Yeah.
What a great show. So number 86.
Yep.
Agent 86.
Yep.
Maxwell Smart.
Would you believe?
Would you believe the 86 Mets
episode
won the World Series that year?
All right. Well, listen, what do we before we get started, we're going to have to talk about, not we're going to have to talk about, we want to talk about our fantastic sponsor, Silk City Hot Sauce.
Yeah.
What you do is you go to SilkCityHotSauce.com. Our pal Jeff Kingfish Levinsky, a fellow raccoon, went up to Vermont and made his own great homemade hot sauce. It's
the most delicious you've ever tasted in your life.
without a doubt.
You
Absolutely.
can't argue with that.
Yeah, you can't.
Can't.
And he made his own homemade hot sauce. And now you can buy it. And what you do is you go to SilkCityHotSauce.com, right? And go get yourself some great hot sauce like Chipotle.
He makes Chipotle.
Yep.
The only man in the world makes Chipotle.
Yeah, it's the only place on the whole planet that makes Chipotle. Yep. I like Mango Madness.
I like Aztec Attack.
Yep.
I like
Badass Jew.
Badass Jew.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. And after you purchase all of your wonderful hot sauce, you go to the coupon code and you put
RX.
in the coupon code. And when you do that, you get a free bottle of
Cherry Sriracha.
I'm sorry, sir. I couldn't think of the word.
because you get a bottle of cherry sriracha. You do not get.
I don't want either. I'll have a small cup of black coffee.
You don't get black coffee
black
on this. No. You know, and I wonder why you wanted black coffee. I think because.
I've been putting on a little weight lately.
And who wants to drink black coffee?
I'll let him taste it.
Okay.
He'll be sold on it just like me.
All right, I could do this
Okay, all day long.
Yeah,
That was our show.
Thank you.
And we'll go into trivia, and then we'll
Yes.
get out.
Yes. Good night, everybody. In the books. So, but yes, and get yourself some great homemade hot sauce. And it helped. Homemade hot sauce. Yes.
That's a new one.
That's a new flub. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of new flavor, he's got one coming up.
Which one?
Bang Zoom.
Yes. Supposedly he's going to make like a habanera or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know how he's going to come up with the title, but it's going to be a Honeymooners themed hot sauce. So we're looking forward to
and
that.
Honey.
Habanero and honey.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's going to be hamana or Bang
Zoom
Zoom
or something like that.
He'll
Maybe something related. He'll figure it out.
He'll figure it out. Yeah, he's got some pretty twisted,
Yeah, he does.
twisted ideas. So, now our first episode. This is our first
It was
episode.
back in June of 2019.
This is not how I wanted to start
the show, but
no, I don't know why I cannot seem. Oh, maybe. Wait a minute. Oh, duh. Now I know why. Okay.
Want me to jump on the board?
Okay, I got it. All right.
We'll end the show right now.
All right, here we go. This is how we want to start the show.
Yes.
Okay? We're starting the show almost the same every single time with our new inductee.
Yes.
Verily, the Honeymooners podcast knights the full-grown nut of the week. Aren't you lucky?
All right. So, our full-grown nut of the week this week, episode 86, is Norm. That's right. Norm.
Our good
You know
friend
what?
from the Chicago area.
Yeah. You know what? Cheers has it. Norm
They
has its Norm. We have our Norm.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Whenever he comes in the room, we're like, Norm!
Norm!
Not really, but you know what I mean. And you know what? I have to say, Norm is perfect to say just the name Norm.
Yeah. Oh, Joe just lost.
I can't find my glass.
His glasses are
Oh, my God. All right, here
on
we go.
top of your head. There you go.
Top of my head. And here's the thing about Norm. Norm, he's one of those guys. He's been there.
Oh, he's been there from the beginning.
From the beginning.
From the beginning.
You know,
Another one,
like Ira. Like all the nuts.
These guys have
pretty
been there from the beginning.
But Norm is a guy that I've never met, but I could bet anything. He's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Great guy. Oh, my God.
It even comes across
Yep.
in social media.
Yep.
He's just a really, really nice guy. And you know what? He adds to the show just a perfect amount.
Yep.
You know, he's not a guy that takes a lot of shots.
No, he doesn't.
You know, he's not Steph Curry who just keeps shooting threes. He waits for the perfect moment and takes the perfect shot.
Norm.
And when he gives us some ideas or his feedback
is good.
It's always with great intentions, and it's always perfect. He just really knows.
Yeah, he'll go back and forth with you. You know, if you got a good discussion going, he'll come up with some tidbits of information.
Absolutely.
Kind of like our intellectual nut.
So
sorry if I insulted you, Norm. Calling you an intellect.
I know, really.
Especially on this show.
Yeah, exactly. He's our one intellectual full-grown nut of the week. But thank you, Norm. Yeah, for all you do. You're a great, steady rock.
Yes.
And a good guy.
Yes.
And I would definitely go and hang out with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Great guy.
Absolutely.
Perfect number 5.
Yep. So thank you, Norm. And congratulations. And we'll be sending you your certificate. All righty. All right. So we got lots to do today.
Yeah, we do.
All right. It's going to be a lot of tidbits today.
Yeah,
okay?
little things. A couple of things we'll talk about.
First off,
we'll skip the details.
Skip the details. I found out something over the weekend from one of our listeners that Tony Wienko, I think it is. Wienko, I think it is. Tony mentioned in a chat with me that and he said it very nonchalant, and I had never known this. In, I think it's A Dog's Life, when Ralph faints. One of the times Ralph faints.
Right.
And when he gets up, he says something. He's like, fares, right? Fares. I never knew. He said fares. I didn't know what he said.
Oh, I knew that. Yeah.
So, and when I told Lou that, I'm like, Lou, Tony sent me, he mentioned it, and I said, dude, I never knew that. He was like, really? You didn't know?
I didn't know that.
So I told Lou, and he was like, yeah, of course he did.
He said fares.
I guess I never thought of a bus driver yelling fares.
Yeah.
So I just found it, so, all right, so I'm a little behind on things, you know. I think the funniest thing must be Bang Zoom, because I don't know anything about this show, apparently. But it was a pretty interesting thing that I didn't know that.
I knew that, so it didn't.
Yeah. Lou just looked at me like I had 3 heads.
Really?
He's like,
really?
Fares? What is your problem? Another quick little thing was from Bibbs. And one of the emails that Bibbs sent us, he mentioned that, and he said, did you know that Frank Satinstein. I don't want to say Satinstein. I don't want to say Satanstein.
No,
that sounds a little.
No, Satinstein. I say
Satinstein. His daughter, and we see Frank Satinstein all the time. Yep. He's the director. His daughter Skylar was married to Lars Ulrich, the Metallica drummer, for like 7 years, and that was in.
Aren't you lucky?
Aren't
really?
You lucky?
Really? God.
And for me, because I was
who the hell's Metallica?
Yeah, I was a big Metallica fan. So I'm like, I can't believe I didn't know. And it just kind of shows like the age thing, because Metallica, they're probably late 50s. These guys came out in the early 80s when I was like 13, 14, and they were like 19. So they're closer to 60. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. If they're 60, could that be his daughter? But why not?
Sure, why not?
Absolutely.
Why not?
And so I just found that to be a pretty, little interesting tidbit for any Metallica fans out there, which I doubt seriously.
There's only one in this room.
And the man is standing right in this room. Okay, and there's one other thing.
It's you. Ooh. Because it ain't me.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Norm is such a good guy. He wasn't even like,
No,
No, he wouldn't do that.
Norm wouldn't do that.
No, he wouldn't.
He's so humble.
So this guy on Twitter, a relatively new listener, Richie the Mole, who I will say, and we started out not on good terms.
No.
He started out being very upset with us because of certain things about things with Gleason and being a musician and writing music, but we have reconciled all of it. He is definitely a listener and likes us, and we like him too. So he sent me a thing on Twitter, and so he said, hey, have you guys ever heard the greatest flub no one ever heard? Ralph saying, I don't possess a mansion or a villa in France or a yacht or a string of Peloponnes. He says it during the rehearsal with Alice, but we don't hear it during the play, which would be an amazing flub RX. So in other words, he's saying the flub of string of Peloponnes, which Ralph says, it's something we don't hear because it never happened in the play. But Lou makes a great point.
Oh, God. But in our world, that is not a flub.
Correct.
That's written into the script,
so
and
it
becomes the main focus of that whole play.
Right. So he's saying, like,
Peloponnese.
can you imagine? We never heard him say string of Peloponnes, which is the wrong way of saying it, but correctly in the script.
Yeah, in the script. That's the whole script is all. So it's not a
So
flub.
right. So technically it's not a flub, but what he's saying is one of the biggest, in the script flubs we've never heard, because they never said
It's not a flub.
And plus, it's not a flub. But
plain and simple, not a flub.
Right. But we never got to hear him say that in the play because he says it afterwards. Like, we didn't understand that thing about the string of Peloponnes.
Herbert J. Whiteside says it. So we all know it was said.
Right, we know it was said, but you don't actually hear it. And that would be funny to actually see him on stage saying string of Peloponnes, which I understand. But thank you, Richie the Mole. We appreciate. Of course, technically it wasn't a flub. All right, so we want to get into something that happened in Palomine with Teddy Oberman, right? And it's a little quick thing. And we talked about Teddy Oberman, like, he talks about how could a guy like you be with a friend with a clam like them, right? Like Ralph is some sort of, like a regal, part
of the royal family. Although the royal family, I'd rather hang out when Norton's got more class.
Yes, exactly. And I'm going to play. It's a little part here. It's when the guy at the door,
the great guy at the door, man at the door.
Man at the door.
It's always got to be known as man at the door.
Large overcoat,
big hat.
Big
great,
hat.
great.
And it's when he comes in, and this is the scene.
Mrs. Norton?
Yes, he just went with Alice to the movies. What's the matter?
I got bad news, Ralph. There was an explosion in the sewer on Himrod Street. Norton was hurt.
Norton's hurt?
Yeah, he's in room 317 at the Bushwick Hospital.
He was hurt?
Yes, he was.
That's my fault.
Here we go.
If I had gone bowling with him, he'd never got hurt.
Wait.
If anything's happened to that guy that's real serious, I'll never forgive myself. I gotta get my hat and go over there.
Hey, wait a minute. You just got through telling me you and him ain't friends.
What I say about Norton is one thing. How I feel about him is another. Look out.
Look out. All right. So, great little scene.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on here. This is all shows.
This is all me. This is all me.
This is all spontaneous.
So now, Ralph just tells him, like, we're not really friends. We're just neighbors and all that. He finds out that this man is hurt. It's an explosion. We don't know the seriousness of it. And Ralph's like, if anything ever happened to him, I'd be, I'll never forgive myself. And Oberman, this callous guy, is like, I thought you said you weren't friends. Like, dude, somebody could be dead. This guy, you don't know anything. And the only thing you can think of, hey, I thought you guys weren't friends. You should be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, oh, my God. I don't know. I know you're not really friends with that guy, but oh my God, I hope he's okay.
Hey, he's in the hospital.
Nothing.
Room
He's
317.
He's in 317. But all he could say was, I thought you and him weren't friends. Yeah, what is he, like a sociopath? Like Ralph can't feel bad that somebody he lives across downstairs from? And I just thought it was such a callous Teddy Oberman moment.
Yeah.
And then, of course, what does he do? As soon as Ralph leaves,
He goes back to eating.
goes right back to being a
Capone and just eating everything on that table. Carrots, chicken legs.
Yes. Yeah. Eating the I guess it was like some sort of sausage or something, or pepperoni.
Yeah, it was like a big salami
Big
or something,
salami.
or bologna,
Just-
a big thing of bologna
just
or something.
gnawing at
just
it.
gnawing at it with that carrot. Who the hell eats a whole carrot? Really, when you're at a table, you don't ever see a whole carrot like Bugs Bunny with it's got the leaves on the bottom.
Leaves at the end. Yeah, exactly.
The carrot tops. Oh my God.
Yeah, so I just thought,
Great
wow.
character.
What, I mean, yeah, what a great one and
He's a
done.
great one
Great
and done.
one and
Oh,
done,
God,
without a
he's
doubt. But yeah, I just
And
thought,
we had our
wow.
whole thing on him.
Oh yeah,
We did a
absolutely.
good thing on Teddy.
And
Oberman.
he's
Yeah.
been on so many things.
Yeah.
You know, had a great career.
Ned Glass had a really
Glass.
good career.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he was a bit of a callous guy.
Yes, but he didn't care about explosions and sewers and manhole covers landing on sewer workers' heads.
Ah, yes.
Which, by the way, when you think of that,
Right.
the manhole cover landed on my head. Manhole covers weigh about 8,000 pounds. Why are you not dead? I mean,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Seriously.
That's just what is that happened to me all the time.
It's an occupational hazard.
Occupational
hazard.
hazard. Yeah. So that was my little thing on Teddy Oberman.
Oberman.
How he
The
was
callousness of
Yeah,
Teddy
the
Oberman.
callousness of Teddy Oberman. All right. Now we're gonna hop right over to Young at Heart. There's no clip for it or anything, but we're talking about the skating scene.
The roller skating scene. Dusty out in that hall.
Thank you. And now the scene is obviously they all come out, and now the moment when they say, "Hey, can you get us a cup of coffee?"
Cup of coffee.
Right. So Ralph,
Trix and I want a cup of coffee. Over there?
so now Ralph goes over, and I guess that's part of the scene to watch him struggle.
Yeah.
To go over to get the couple of cups of coffee, and the guy magically gives him 3, even though he asked for a couple. But you know,
Yeah, and he gives him 3. And it was like, there must have been like not even a sip in each cup.
just enough so when he did
spill it,
he get it on
You get
her,
to show that he spilled something.
that he spilled
yeah.
something on their coffee, on their skirts.
On their skirts.
So now Ralph has to go all the way over there, and he's having trouble.
Yep.
Struggling, understandably.
Yeah.
Now, I had learned that for a couple of weeks, Audrey Meadows and Joyce Randolph, and I'm not sure about Art Carney, but they went and they practiced roller skating.
Right.
And they were all 3 of them were very good.
Yeah,
You could see
Art Carney was
Art
good.
Carney was
Well,
like,
the roller skating was big back then, Joe.
so maybe
they all. If I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't know how to roller skate.
right.
It was big.
Okay. So maybe they all did, they were like, avid roller skaters.
Yeah.
Because this is 1955 and they were all probably in their 30s.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure roller skating was still probably popular
Yeah,
in
it
the
was
40s,
popular. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now Ralph goes from the coffee place over to Alice and
Trixie on the bench.
And then sneezes coffee.
Yeah.
And then he goes, all right, let's go. And now he falls.
Right.
So I'm saying to myself, how did they plan this? Because what if he actually did slip going over to the coffee or on the way over from the coffee before he can get to, did they have a plan for that? Because obviously filming live,
Yep.
they're not doing retakes. They're just going to film it twice and try to get the best version. So did they plan on hey, listen, if he falls over there, then we just go over there.
Right.
And we try to pick him up and then do I don't know.
Right.
But now Louis makes a phenomenal point that maybe this is how they do
Well,
this.
I hate to say, I wish I could take credit for this, but I think I read it on one of the sites, one of the Honeymooners or Honeymooners Raccoon Lodge, where someone had said that they may have tightened the wheels on the roller skates. So Ralph was more in control of the skate.
Right.
so he wouldn't be going flailing all over the place if the skates were normal.
Right.
So they actually tighten them up. They're tight, so they're really not turning as much as they would loosely
so
turn.
you're gonna have to really push to move them a little bit.
And it's basically you're kind of almost like walking on them.
Right.
And we know Gleason, as big as the man he had, he was nimble.
Yes.
And so that would probably be no problem for him. He was nimble. He was athletic.
Yes.
So that would be no problem for him.
And I was just like, first of all, I'm not a. I tried to ice skate once when I was like 12. Never again. Roller skate a couple of times, and oddly enough, I didn't think it is. My wife roller skated as a kid, and she's still, even in her teens and 20s, big time roller skater. I could have asked. I didn't even think of that of asking her, but that makes sense that they did that just to make sure. Hey, you know what? He can, and he was doing the thing with the stretching of the leg out.
Yeah. And another thing, the time in Chef of the Future with the handy housewife helper.
Right.
Norton, get rid of the skate key. You don't need that.
Another reference. A
reference to a skate key.
Reference
People are like, what the hell's a skate key?
I knew it had something to do with the...
Skates were like adjustable.
Okay.
And you would adjust them, lock
Make it
the
a little
key,
bigger
make it bigger,
or
smaller. Yeah.
Right.
And
Get
just
the skate key out of it.
Yeah, we don't,
And that was an ad-lib.
That was an ad-lib. Yeah,
obviously.
get rid of the skate key.
So that might have been,
So
maybe they were very...
It shows you what skating meant back then.
It was very much in their culture.
Right.
In probably in people's culture.
I'm saying, I remember my mother telling me she used to roller skate when they were kids.
That's
and
cool.
my mother's would have been around Gleason's age.
Right.
He was a couple of years older, but around that same age group.
And it was
popular when they were kids.
And so your mom was big on roller skating.
Yeah.
So
when they were kids.
Yeah. So it was.
They all roller skated. That's what she told me. She said we all roller skated.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, well, they didn't have cell phones.
No, yeah, thank God.
No video games.
Right now, I trade in a cell phone for a pair of roller skates.
A pair of roller skates.
As a matter of fact, I was watching Abbott and Costello. I get them now on IMDb TV, the half-hour shows.
Yeah.
So I was watching, and one of the things was, make this real condensed, there was a thing with roller skates. They bought a crate of roller skates. It was smuggled in, and they were hiding diamonds in the roller skate. Costello buys it at this warehouse auction, and
he ends up getting one with diamonds in it.
And everybody, and you can see that he wants to sell them outside on the street, and he puts them like on Bachika Loop's, cart,
right?
His vegetable cart, and all the kids are coming by buying skates. So everybody's skating in the show. Bingo the Chimp is skating. So so that shows you what roller skating meant back then.
Yeah.
So
that's wild. Yeah. See, I didn't realize. I mean, I've always known that roller skating was popular. I just didn't realize.
Yeah.
But it just kind of made me think, like, wow, what would happen if? But they probably they knew what they knew.
Doing what they're doing, and I kind of believe that whoever posted that on that site was probably right.
Yeah.
Just tighten the wheels up,
absolutely,
just to give him more balance.
So he really kind of had to. It wasn't going to just.
Yeah, no, it's not going to go off on him. He's pushing. He's kind of walking on him.
Yep.
So,
very good.
Yeah. So that's
all right.
Very good.
All right. Now, this is. I'm really I'm going to enjoy this a lot. Now, this is something that Louis brought up. And I think it's a little thing that you and Ira have.
Ira had suggested this to me back a ways, maybe a couple months ago. Just couldn't understand, like where was Joe Muncie throughout this whole thing,
right?
So so we put together this thing. This me with Freddie Muller,
of course. Of course.
The way Joe feels about our Carney, that's how I feel about Freddie Muller. Not George Petrie, Freddie Muller.
Freddie Muller, right. George Petrie was an average actor. He's good, but he was no Freddie Muller.
No way. So we have this Rumsey Muncie thing going, first of all, right?
Okay.
The Joe Rumsey, Joe Muncie thing.
Right. Which we figured out.
We figured it's Joe Muncie.
Right.
And the reason why is because we had mentioned this a while back, in case just to refresh everybody's memory, that during the party when Trixie's going over the list, she mentions Joe Muncie.
Correct.
So the man's name is Joe Muncie, not Joe Rumsey. So I think we went over that as being a flub mistake by Norton. Norton, and Ralph just went with it. He
went with it,
and
right.
Gleason just went with it. Joe Rumsey, that's impossible. Joe Rumsey was in, then that turned into Muncie.
Yeah.
So anyway, so here's the thing. Joe Muncie, which we will call him, is a member of the executive committee, right?
Correct.
Right, because
this is deciding vote.
Exactly.
Yep.
So now only the 7 executive members vote whatever.
For the convention manager.
Convention manager, and it's obviously landslide. It turns into a 4-3 loss. So now he's Joe Muncie there. Our question is, okay, first let me go back. Let me take one step back here. That's episode 11 in the sequence.
Right.
Okay. Now, Freddie appears in episode 3 and 9 prior to this. Now, our question, when me and Joe were discussing this, why is he not Freddie Muller in this episode also? Why is he Joe Muncie?
Right. There's no correlation between the thing with Trixie when she says Joe Muncie, because that was a completely
that
different
had nothing
episode.
to do with it. That got nothing to do with it. No. I'm just saying that's only to clarify his name. Well, my point is that why did they use him as Joe Muncie and not Freddie Muller? Because Freddie Muller is a raccoon.
Absolutely.
You see it? Remember he said, at the Freddie Muller, he's the chairman of the entertainment committee, which would be like an executive type.
Correct.
But when you think each executive has a committee that they chair.
Mm-hmm.
So Freddie Muller is the chairman of the entertainment committee. So why would he not be Freddie Muller in this episode? Why is Petrie Joe Muncie and not the character of Freddie Muller?
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Like, there's no reason to, because he's that guy.
He's that guy.
George Petrie.
He's George Petrie.
Playing a raccoon.
A raccoon.
So why not just say, hey, we got, who'd you do it? Oh, Freddie Muller.
Yeah.
What do you mean? He was right here. Yeah. Why make it Joe Muncie?
Yeah, right. Where's it would be the consistency. Where's this inconsistency come in? Why Joe Muncie? All of a sudden you pluck out this name of Joe Muncie.
And then Art Carney got it wrong anyway.
Art Carney got it wrong because if it was Freddie Muller, he would have got it right.
He would have got it right.
No,
exactly. Yeah,
Freddie Muller, that's impossible, Freddie Muller.
He was just here. Yeah, it's like, and even George Petrie probably would have been like, well, so what character am I playing? You know what I mean? And I know they're not doing Shakespeare.
No.
But he's still like, all right, so I'm playing Joe Muncie.
Muncie for one.
All right.
One episode.
So I'm a raccoon, and it's me, but I'm not playing Freddie Muller. I'm playing Joe Muncie.
That's it, Joe. He just said he's playing a raccoon.
He's playing Freddie Muller.
And that was like kind of Ira's point.
Right.
He's playing a raccoon.
Yeah.
Why Joe Muncie?
Why
if he showed up in
James
another thing, like a bus driver or something, hey, Joe Muncie or something,
right.
Somebody that they meet,
he's
of course,
right.
Another character, a meaningless character,
correct,
could be Joe Muncie. But why in this episode
no
is he
sense.
Joe Muncie and not Freddie Muller?
Right. Like Dick Burney, right? Dick Burney played what's his name? Bill Davis. But then he also played the Hood.
Yeah, but he also played Joe Fensterblau.
And he played Joe Fensterblau. Completely different characters for a reason.
Because Fensterblau's a bus driver.
Yes, exactly. And Bill Davis was
Bill Davis is just a friend
from school. Right. So why? Yeah, it
doesn't
make any sense.
That's the point, is that the whole thing of being is that he's a raccoon. Why the same man, two different raccoons?
Two different raccoons. Yes, it didn't make any sense.
So that's the point that this doesn't make. Now, we can also, I don't know, maybe this makes a little sense. The character of Freddie Muller appears more frequently after this episode. So maybe they weren't too attuned to it at the time.
Okay, because he only made 2 appearances
prior.
And they were writing as
they're writing as they're going along.
So they didn't realize, like, hey, you know what, this guy, we wrote him in for a bunch of things.
Yeah.
So maybe they thought, it was just a character.
Just a character one day, yeah.
And now they're starting to write more, and Freddie Muller has gotten a bunch more,
yeah.
like 4 or 5 more times, right?
We need to find it weird. I guess Freddie Muller. I guess Joe Muncie's thinking, I'll get that Ralph. I'm not going to tell him that this vacuum cleaner didn't work. Didn't pass the oatmeal test or the cornflake test.
Or the cornflake test.
I'll get him. I'll just lay low and not vote for him.
The whole thing is just weird. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing with the Freddie Muller,
Joe
like Muncie.
And then the cherry on top is Art Carney messes
up a guy's name.
So the one time he's as Joe Muncie, they screw up his name.
Joe Rumsey.
Because the other time was just mentioned by
Trixie.
Nothing to do with
Nothing to do with the episode.
That's why there's no reason. Even they're not like, well, let's use Joe Muncie because she mentioned it once. No, it's got nothing to do with the other.
That's just the Muncie part that Trixie mentioned. Just clarifies the correct name. It's not Rumsey.
it's Muncie. Exactly.
Okay, that's all that. That's all that does.
Yeah,
that's got nothing to do with anything else but that.
Right, but I'm saying that's like one of those things where it wouldn't make any sense to say, well, let's make it Muncie because she mentioned them once.
No,
who cares?
No, got nothing to do it because
she's
just rattling off people's names.
It's just for a joke.
It
was a little joke that they did. Yeah. Absolutely. So, and I love it.
Yeah.
Joe Muncie visits Muncie, and then it's Joe Rumsey.
Joe Rumsey.
I don't know which name do you like better, real quick? Like
Muncie.
Muncie, you like better?
I've never heard anybody named Rumsey.
Yeah, I never did either. Have you heard Muncie?
Muncie. Oh, yeah. Remember Chuck Muncie? He's a football player.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
His brother played also.
I don't remember.
There's the Muncie brothers.
Okay.
They played at the same time.
And 70s?
Yeah. And they each spelled their last name differently. They were brothers.
Was one Rumsey and the other one
was Rumsey and one was Muncie.
Were they both named Joe?
Joe. That's why I had to use different last names. They're both named Joe, like George Foreman's kids.
Yes, they're all named
17 George.
Oh, that is great. But I just love that, and it just and that kind of was something you and Ira kind of
Ira went back asking me this why he couldn't understand why Joe. I actually think Ira's point. And I better get this right.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
What's that? He said that Joe Muncie doesn't make another appearance as a raccoon. I think that's what Ira said. This is going back a couple, so I'm just trying to...
Yeah.
Ira, you know what I'm talking about.
And the rest of the time, any time George Petrie was playing a raccoon, it was
Freddie Muller.
Freddie Muller.
Yeah.
And you just love that name, Freddie Muller.
Freddie Muller. That's a great name.
It's just awesome.
Great name, Freddie.
That's me,
Muller.
Fred.
It's me, Fred.
I love the way he says that, by the way. That's me, Fred.
Oh, you were good too, Ralph. You were sitting right next to him. What do you say?
Yeah. Big eyes, whatever. All right.
Hey, Grandma.
Yes.
One of the best cartoons of all time. Everybody knows what we're talking about. Literally.
Put on your old gray body with a blue. I can watch that all day. And I have. All right. Well, we're coming to our favorite part, Louis' favorite part of the show, not mine.
Joe don't like this part.
I'm under the gun here, and we know what it is.
And now, Tom, who is our first guest, please?
Our first guest, ready to leap the first hurdle on his way to the $99,000 answer, is our
courier from Parsippany, New Jersey, Joe Conti.
Thank you.
I want to see the expression on your face when you miss it.
Whoa.
Where does that
My
come
goodness.
from?
My goodness.
Harsh. Tough crowd.
I'm all right now, but last week I was in rough shape. I love that. It's my favorite thing he ever
It just
said.
comes out in.
I'm all right now. I'm all right now, but last week I was in rough shape. It's always 1 week earlier he was in rough shape. He's never in rough shape at the moment. The great Rodney Dangerfield. Oh, God. Hey, I tell you. All right, what do we got? All
right, Joe, this is from... Oh, we're supposed to play... No, need music on, right? Oh, Professor Walter Newman. That's what I meant to say. Prepared by Professor Walter Newman.
Of course.
And it's from the $99,000 answer, too.
It is.
Which he did prepare.
All right.
Okay, this is kind of a tough... I'm going to give you a two-parter here.
Okay.
If you get the first part, you're good. The second part's a bonus.
Okay.
You get an extra Honeymooners T-shirt. Or a free bottle of cherry sriracha. If you get this right.
I get a free bottle of
cherry sriracha.
I'm sorry, sir. I couldn't think of the word.
I had to do it.
Okay. We can play that twice. That's great. Okay, Joe. Here it is.
Here we go.
Now, in the actually, after the question, when Ralph's exiting the stage and the guys are saying different.
This after he lost.
After he lost, he's
saying
exiting.
Good night. There's two good nights.
Well,
right.
that's the question.
Okay.
What are the two good nights?
Good Night, Irene, by Forrester and Ledbetter.
Half right.
Something in Ledbetter, and then there was it. Wait a minute. It's Good Night, Irene, and just Good Night.
No.
Good Night, Saigon.
Yeah, that's it.
Good Night, Irene, and was it Bing Crosby? The second one?
No.
What was it?
You want the title or you want the guys who wrote it?
Give me the. Give me the title.
Okay. Good Night, Sweetheart.
Oh, by Good Night, Sweetheart by is it two people? Valentino?
Close.
The
last time you're close?
No, not Val. What's it? Go ahead. I can't think of it.
Rudy Valley.
Rudy Valley. That's right. And
Ray Noble.
Ray Noble.
So you're good. First one's Olmax and Ledbetter. Olmax and Ledbetter.
What I said?
You said Forrester.
That's just an attorney. That's an attorney that I use. Forrester and Ledbetter.
Old Forrester, that bourbon. Olmax and Ledbetter. Good Night, Irene.
And then
Ledbetter was actually Leadbelly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's Ledbetter. It's his real name. Leadbelly, the blues singer.
Yeah,
that's him. That's Ledbetter.
That's what he. So he started as Ledbetter, and then he.
Well, his real name's Ledbetter,
right?
But Leadbelly was his stage name. Yeah.
While he was just writing songs then, and then he became a performer.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
And I think Olmax is the guy that recorded him. He went out to, I think when he was in prison or something, and recorded his song. Because this all, you're talking a long while back here, like in the 30s, I guess.
Probably late 30s, right?
I think there was that movie called Leadbelly or something like that. It's actually a decent movie about him.
Really?
Yeah, about Ledbetter.
I'm gonna check that. I want to check that.
And I think Olmax was the guy who recorded him. He wanted to get all his music on, on vinyl at the time.
Wow.
And I think he used to put his name. I'm not sure about this, but I heard that he used to put his name on these songs. He didn't even write them. That's why it says Olmax and Ledbetter. It was actually Ledbetter wrote the song, but he threw his name on it anyway.
He's like John Oates. He just threw his name in there.
Yeah, just true. Yeah.
Hey, I know Daryl Hall wrote that, but just put Oates on there too.
I think. I'm not 100% sure.
That is cool.
Yes. I think the movie's name is Ledbetter. Leadbelly.
Nice.
Leadbelly. And his real name is Ledbetter.
All right.
So that's that.
Very, very good. Well, listen, first of all, Norm, congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you for everything you do. We appreciate it.
I mean,
our full-grown nut of the
Even
week.
though Norm is a shoo-in, we still had to go to the Board of Nuts.
Yeah,
we still had to go. We still had to go to the Board of Nuts.
Yep.
Because, it's not slam dunk. Nothing slam dunk. Look how long it took Gil Hodges to get into the Hall of Fame.
That's true.
Norm made it in 2 years. In 2 years.
Yeah. And you know what? The what do we call them? The Board of Nuts.
Board of Nuts.
Yeah. They not one person said,
"Is this the man who gets the award?"
Not one of them. No, one guy did say.
Must be one of those nuts.
He did say that. All right. Well, listen. Who can we thank? We have to thank Silk City Hot Sauce. Obviously, go to silkcityhotsauce.com. Get yourself some great homemade hot sauce. And then when you go to purchase, there's a little thing in the corner, and you put in
RX
in the coupon code and get yourself 15% off.
Percentage.
A 15% percentage
say that
off of your thing.
They won't get it off.
And then you won't get it off. And then a free bottle of cherry sriracha. Who else? All of you guys who listen, who email us, comment on Facebook, and some of you special pals, and that list is growing every week. You know who you are. We know who you are. Thank you. And all of you newbies, if you're really enjoying the show, go look up. We have like 5 or 6 videos on my YouTube page. Subscribe to my YouTube page. You just put either Joe Conti or the Honeymooners podcast. It'll come up. And share some of the videos.
Yeah.
Share an episode if you like. Let people know who are fans of the Honeymooners about our show, because it's a darn good show. All right? Took me 86 episodes to say this is a really good show.
Yeah, it is.
It took me a long time. I'm not very good at patting myself on the back.
I'm going to say something.
Go ahead.
I don't know if people out there realize it. Me and Joe have never, ever listened to an episode together.
No, we haven't.
Never.
Nope, we have not. And we'll put it to you this way. We're not going to do our typical Christmas show this year.
I wanted to make the announcement for
we're going to do a little bit of different type of show.
We have a little different type of show.
It's going to be different.
Like a highlight show,
kind
of.
We're going to do, it's almost like a 2021
year
in review.
Yeah.
And do some of our favorite moments.
Favorite little moments.
Maybe flub of the year, voicemail
like
of the year,
yeah.
all of that
Things
stuff.
like that. We're still going to cover the Christmas episode, but not in
Yeah,
length.
we've
done it 2 years in a row.
Right.
How much more can we say?
And of course, the episode will end with.
It
has to end with
like that.
Even if it comes out between Christmas and New Year's, it doesn't matter.
And I'll be
it's still the
sobbing
whole
at
time.
the end.
Who else can we thank? The Facebook group, the Honeymooners Raccoon Lodge with Joy and Brother Norton. And also, I forgot, if you guys go to Etsy.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say it.
And Brother Norton has a bunch of new stuff that he's got.
Yeah.
Like, aprons and Chef of the Future.
He's got some good cups, nice mugs.
Beautiful.
Good mugs.
Let me see. I think I got the information. But even if not, if you just look and you just look up,
it's on our page
Honeymooners
too, right?
Store. It might be on our page.
It's on our page.
Go to Etsy and look up Honeymooners Store, and you will find Brother Norton stuff on there. Get some, I think, before December 15th, and you could get it for Christmas.
Okay.
All right. And
if you don't, it's Honeymooners Raccoon Lodge. That's their site.
The Facebook group.
And then
Absolutely.
the link will be on there.
And it'll be on there too.
I can't believe I just said link.
You said link, yeah. I thought you were ordering breakfast.
Curly Q link from the Three Stooges.
And if you want to check out my 1-hour comedy album from 2011 called Joe Conti Happiness, you can download it anywhere you get your music or comedy. You can probably get it for free, but if you want to pay for it, you can support me. That is great. And that is it, episode 86.
Just one more thing before we go off.
Go ahead.
On IMDb, get it on the Fire Stick.
Okay.
Now has the half-hour Abbott and Costello shows on.
Yeah.
You've got to watch season 1. If you have to watch any, there's 2 seasons, watch season 1. Season 2 is very different. Season 1 is basically their vaudeville and burlesque routines.
Really?
All put into some mishmash into a show, and of course, Joe Besser is on as Stinky. And Mr. Bachigaloop, Joe Kirk, 2 of the greatest TV characters of all time. So, add that to your Car 54.
Yeah. So soon
season 1.
Soon we'll be doing a Honeymooners Car 54 and Abbott Costello podcast.
Mr. Fields.
All right.
Okay.
All right, everybody. 86 in the books. And for me and Lou, we say...
E pluribus raccoonum. Night all.
RX.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
We'll have to do this again real soon.
How about tomorrow night?
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer, Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.